When spies are apprehended, particularly in African countries, how should they be dealt with? Recently, a French soldier who was supposedly sent to Burkina Faso to provide security was exposed as a spy after being caught with suspicious information. The French authorities, however, have denied these accusations, dismissing them as baseless and without legal foundation. But the big question remains: will France ever stop meddling in the internal affairs of African nations? Before we dive deeper into this unfolding story, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Daily Journal channel to stay updated on everything happening in Burkina Faso. Since the military junta took over in September 2022, Burkina Faso and France have been steadily distancing themselves from each other. The new leadership has deliberately moved to cut ties with France, making it clear that they want to reclaim their sovereignty. This latest incident only adds fuel to the fire, raising doubts about France's true intentions in the region. Instead of being a reliable ally, France's presence now seems more of a threat than a safeguard. But how has France responded to these accusations? Have they acknowledged the alleged spy? And what consequences will follow? The man at the center of this controversy is Damien, a former French legionnaire turned security consultant who was detained by Burkina Faso's national police in Ouagadougou on suspicion of espionage. His arrest not only exposes a potential security breach, but also serves as a stark reminder of the West's persistent interference in African affairs long after colonial rule officially ended. Damien de Marsac capture, coupled with the discovery of confidential information concerning Burkina Faso's security dynamics, paints a much larger picture of how Western powers, under the pretense of security cooperation, continue to manipulate African nations for their own strategic interests. This situation raises a crucial question. What exactly is the West and France, in particular, hoping to gain from Burkina Faso? President Ibrahim Traoré has been vocal about his suspicions. He has openly accused France of conspiring to destabilize Burkina Faso, even alleging that two West African countries, Benin and Ivory Coast, are collaborating with France to undermine his government. According to Traoré, France has established two covert military bases in Benin, supposedly to launch attacks on Burkina Faso, serving as hubs for terrorist activities against the country. Predictably, the French military has flatly denied these claims, insisting that no such bases exist. This is not the first time Burkina Faso has had to deal with alleged espionage from French operatives. In fact, 4 other French agents have been detained in Burkina Faso for almost 9 months under Traoré's administration, which has taken a firm anti-French stance. French officials describe the situation as a hostage crisis that shows no sign of resolution. The 4 men were apprehended in Ouagadougou just 48 hours after their arrival, reportedly on a mission to assist Burkina Faso's National Intelligence Agency with computer maintenance at the French embassy. Instead, they were accused of espionage and attempting to destabilize the government. Diplomatic relations between France and Burkina Faso have significantly worsened since Traoré assumed power. One clear indicator of this rift is Burkina Faso's decision to suspend several French media outlets, including Le Monde, TV5, and Radio France Internationale. Most recently, the transitional government also halted all media associated with the French news outlet Jeune Afrique, after it published an article suggesting that unrest was growing within Burkina Faso's military ranks. This move to cut off French media reflects a broader frustration It's misinformation like this that opens the door for spies to infiltrate the country under the guise of gathering intelligence. In September, Burkina Faso's military leadership took a bold step by expelling 3 French diplomats, accusing them of engaging in subversive activities. A formal letter addressed to the French embassy on April 16th declared the 3 individuals, 2 of whom held positions as political advisors, persona non grata, and gave them just 48 hours to leave the country. While the letter did not elaborate on the specific charges, it cited their involvement in meetings with civil society representatives as a contributing factor. This diplomatic fallout is unfolding at a time when Burkina Faso is grappling with severe security challenges. The nation is battling escalating violence, with frequent reports of attacks and widespread unrest. Currently, only about 60% of the country is under government control, and the situation continues to deteriorate. Much like neighboring Mali, Burkina Faso's relationship with France has rapidly soured. The same can be said for its ties with the United States. Following the coups, U.S. administration suspended Burkina Faso's free trade access to U.S. markets, further straining relations. While the West distances itself, Russia sees an opportunity to step in. Moscow has been quick to embrace the military-led governments in both Burkina Faso and Mali, offering a mix of intelligence support, diplomatic backing, and security assistance. Following Mali's second military coup, Russian military advisors were deployed to the region, bringing with them a strong contingent of mercenaries, particularly from the Wagner Group, now known as Afrika Korps. The growing Russian influence provides leaders like Traoré with an alternative to Western support, offering legitimacy and stability where the U.S. and its allies have been reluctant to engage. Russia not only provides financial aid and military support, but also personal security to these coup leaders, strengthening their hold on power. Interestingly, Russia's influence in the Sahel has even extended into the realm of digital propaganda. In July, Russia launched an online game called African Dawn, developed by the Kremlin-backed African Initiative. The game allows players to step into the shoes of Captain Ibrahim Traoré and fight against the lingering influence of France, the former colonial power. The game's premise is set against the backdrop of Traoré's rise to power on September 30, 2022, amid growing anti-French sentiment in Africa. Players are challenged to make critical political, economic, military, and diplomatic decisions, striving to assert dominance much like iconic leaders such as Charles de Gaulle, Winston Churchill, or Joseph Stalin. What sets African Dawn apart from other strategy games is its blend of contemporary geopolitics and the narrative crafted by the Kremlin's propaganda machine. It mirrors the sentiments of disillusionment with Western interference, reflecting the perspectives of breakaway coup leaders from the alliance of Sahel states. Players can choose to represent various entities, including the Burkinabe opposition, Nigeria, Chad, France, or the U.S. Alternatively, they can take on the roles of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Mali's leader Assimi Goïta, or even Vladimir Putin himself. The objective is to establish a sovereign confederation rooted in African autonomy, or succumb to the fate of returning the countries to their colonial past. Have you ever thought about trying out this game yourself? It's fascinating how Russia is now using video games as a tool for spreading geopolitical messages, tapping into the power of online platforms to shape public opinion, especially among the younger generation. Who knows, maybe one day we'll see games designed to detect spies in the Sahel. As mentioned earlier, Russia has been actively aligning itself with military governments in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, offering support in information operations, diplomatic backing, and security assistance. After Mali's second military coup in late 2021, Russian military advisors were deployed to the country. Through the infamous Wagner Group, Russia sent a formidable contingent of mercenaries to combat Islamist groups and even delivered weapons in mid-2022. Yet, despite these efforts, the insurgency continues to spread, and Mali's security situation keeps getting worse. The situation in Burkina Faso and Mali highlights the complex geopolitical landscape in Africa. Russia's strategy to exploit anti-Western sentiments as a means of influence might seem clever on the surface, but it's far from straightforward. While Russia might see Burkina Faso as just another pawn in its broader anti-Western agenda, solving the country's security issues is not as simple as it looks. In fact, Russia's involvement could end up making the situation even more complicated. There's also a growing sense of frustration among young people in West and Central Africa, who are increasingly disillusioned with the traditional political class, even those who were democratically elected. A combination of factors fuels this discontent. The lack of job opportunities for both graduates and less educated individuals, the glaring gap between the privileged elite and the rest of the population, and deep-rooted anger over France's lingering influence in its former colonies. Rather than acknowledging past mistakes and making things right, France seems determined to double down by sending more spies to these nations, continuing to spread false narratives. It's no wonder people are growing weary of foreign interference and looking for new ways to assert their independence. Imagine if you were in Traoré's position for just one day. How would you handle these spies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Daily Journal channel. Make sure you turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.